Hello everybody, my name's Nika, and welcome back to the unboxing, where today we're jumping back into the world with One Piece with the Cruise Doctor. That's right, today we are taking a look at the S.H.Figuarts One Piece Tony Chopper Future Island Egghead Edition. Yeah, I got the Egghead Chopper. I bet you're wondering why this is so late. One, because I do need to build up a bit more of a backlog again. I'm planning on having this release later on, but also, this has a bit of a story attached to it. That made it really late to get into my house. So, let's get into that. So, this is the S.H.Figuarts Tony Chopper. It is in a new box, really, for the S.H.Figuarts One Piece brand, though we've seen something like it before, and obviously it's keeping a lot of the similar trappings, but it is a lot thinner. That is because it's seemingly, since it's a smaller figure, they're trying to put it into a similar box style to, like, S.H.Figuarts Kamen Riders and some other smaller anime properties they've been doing. So it's interesting to have this new box style, but it is still fitting the general trappings of your One Piece box art. You got your One Piece logo right here in the corner with a little bit of that mapping to it, and then you get a window where you see the figure itself, even though his face is blocked off by the figure name put onto that clear window, the Tony Chopper Future Island Egghead. Then on this corner, you get a nice little color that is associated with the character. Here for Chopper, it's light blue, and you get a promotional image within that blue, and then over the blue, you get another promotional image of Chopper in a much more standard pose. S.H.Figuarts, Tony Chopper, Future Island Egghead, all over the usual mapping stuff, where it's made, your seals of approval from Toei and Bandai Tamashii Nations, all that stuff. On the top, you get the continuation of that map motif, with the cutout of Luffy's straw hat, which includes the S.H.Figuarts quote, which is always nice to see. At the bottom, you just have that same image of Tony Chopper on a blue background and the name of the figure. On this side, you get your look at all of the different faces that come, all of the different faces that come in the set. Usually it's a bunch, but here it's all, as you can see, as well as the spare Luffy head, name of the figure, Tony Chopper. On this side, you get Chopper running with the Doom behind him, Tony Chopper with the map background, S.H.Figuarts, One Piece. On the back, you get your usual promotional stuff. The little English release sticker is right here, for those wondering. And then you get Super Action, Super Modeling, Tony Chopper. It shows all the different information about the figure and a bunch of different promotional images. But without further ado, let's get into it, because this is a story behind it. So, I pre-ordered this and expected it to come at normal time, and it initially did, but the person I ordered it from, Big Bad Toy Store, shipped it through DHL, who for some reason allowed it to get all the way to my house. They couldn't find my house for whatever reason, or like my mailbox or whatever. Shipped it all the way back. BBTS got their hands on it. They're like, "What the fuck is this doing in our warehouse?" And then they were like, "Hey, we got this back. You want us to send it back to you?" And I'm like, "Yes." And of course, this is after I tried to message DHL about it after realizing what had gone wrong, and they just never got back to me. So then I had to ship it back to myself again, and it finally got here today, which is just so much. So it took like a month, but I finally have the Tony Chopper out of the box. Here is the layout of everything that comes within the package. Not a crazy ton of stuff, but that's fair enough. He's a smaller guy, and I don't really know what else you would have included with him, though some extra stuff would have been nice. Anyhow, let's get it open. So, first off, we have the stand. It is a unique Chopper stand, somewhat similar to the one with the Super Action Hero or whatever it was called. You have this little circular base. Let's get in a little bit closer. Come on. We have a circular clear base, nothing too crazy on it, and we get this little thing which has like a hinge in the middle, which allows it to go like this and this and this, and ball joint there, and you just attach it in there from what I can tell. Oh, that's a little tough. A little bit tough to get it in there, but here it is on the stand. Nice. Next up, it's all faces. So first off, we get your obligatory DLC Luffy face. It's him smiling all cheery and happy because of course he is. He loves Chopper. It's nothing too crazy. I feel like I've seen a face like this before, so I don't think it's super necessary if you're trying to complete a Luffy collection, but it's in here just in case you're looking for that specific expression. But then from there, we get 3 big Chopper faceplates, and they're big, so it's nice. So first off, I guess we'll go with the a somewhat iconic one, Chopper with his like scared expression on him, and it looks correct. As you can see, this one has this sort of line on it, which means I don't think it's going to be compatible with the other Chopper they're making, the fucking Drum Island Chopper that they're going to be doing next year, or I guess when this is releasing this year. But I do like this expression. It's nice and cartoony, and it fits the Oda aesthetic very well. I think it's very well done. And then the next two are happy expressions, I think, or like more chill expressions. Here we have like an open mouth determined expression, which again looks very nice. It looks like Chopper is drawn in post time skip. I think it's very well done. And yeah, it just seems like it works. Here's the backside for showing how it connects and whatnot. And finally, another open mouth. These might all be no, they're different molds, thankfully. They have different teeth and different shapes, which is nice. They're all different molds, so that's good. An extremely happy expression. Once again, very well done. I like his blue nose. But yeah, that brings us to the figure itself. So let's get him out of the packaging. He's got a little bit of that behind him. But here is Tony Chopper out of the box, ready for your viewing pleasure. There's a port on the back of his backpack. Let's see if he can stand on his own. No. Donk. He cannot stand on his own. So let's hold him up while we look at him nice up and close. There we are. So here is Chopper, nice up and close in his Egghead Island look, so it's going to be a unique look, which means this one probably isn't the most necessary figure to own in the collection, but I do like how it looks. I like the goggles, I like the little bit of the hat still poking out of the helmet, and these other goggles up here, which again looks very nice. I do like it's a very big-headed shape, and I think it is very well accomplished here. The helmet itself has a very nice shiny plastic to it, which I think or a nice shiny finish, I should say, which does give it that helmet-like aesthetic, which I think is appreciated. And then the strap has its own different like finish to it, which allows it to stand out very nicely. And then the horns poke out of it and are also done very uniquely and very well. You got the little metal ring on this one because it's the one that has the metal ring on it. Okay, that's how you do that. I think you have to split the helmet in half or swap heads. We'll get there, but yeah, that's removable so that you can get to the faces. Yeah, a lot of this thing's like half of the things like plastic density is in the head, but it is fairly well done, and I do like how it looks. Onto the torso, it is fairly simple. It's that frumpy sort of jacket look that you see with all the Egghead figures, with the SSG on like this lower bit, which is also very nicely done. It looks like that sort of text style in the series. The white lining is nice and clean, and yeah, on his back he has a little bit of a hood, as well as his backpack, which is also done very well. It's a separate piece, so it just kind of floats there, but it's never really going to come into conflict with anything or whatever. But yeah, arms, also very simple little mechanisms that you can sort of mess around with. It is nicely sculpted. I got a little bit of mold flashing, though, on both sides, which is a little unfortunate, but I'll live. And then the legs, you can kind of see them a little bit, but they got the tiny little booties. I kind of wish they had a little bit more paint, kind of like the Luffy did on the bottom, but I'll live. But yeah, very nicely done. It's a simple figure, so I'm kind of going through it quick, I think. So I guess it's time to get to the articulation. The head is on a ball joint, from what I can tell. There might even be a double ball joint assembly in there, so he can look up that far, so he can do little flying poses. He can look down about that far. He can swivel, of course, though it's a little bit hard to get around things, and he does have tilt side to side. Arms, we have what appears to be your usual like ball joint hinge, ball joint in there, which allows him to go up all that way, and they can swivel forward, though that's very tight. I don't like how that feels. You can swivel it, though it's very tight, so be careful. There is also a bicep swivel, which is appreciated. Single jointed elbow, a single hinge, which allows it to go up about a little over 90 degrees, which is nice to see. And then the hands are your usual SHF pegs, which is very surprising, but not unwelcome. My finger's in the way because he's so small. But yeah, usual SHF hinge peg, swivel, it appears. So yeah, the torso is honestly pretty surprising, all things considered. There's like this ball joint right here. I think it's the only joint really that's there at the waist, but it allows for a very free swivel, tilt side to side, backwards that far, forwards that far. It's very freeing, oddly enough, which I appreciate. Hips are on ball joints, which allow them to kick forward a bit, backward a good bit, and outward a good bit. I think there's probably also a swivel up there. There's no real knee. I think the boots are on ball joints, so they are very tight and small, so they're a little awkward to get to, and I think, is that? No, I wouldn't risk it. But yeah, the feet are on joints, though they can get a decent amount of tilt, though you're not really going to be using it for getting him on the ground, because he cannot stay on the ground. That's why this is here. So you just plug that in to his back, and boom. He is now ready and waiting. So yeah, that's Chopper. A very interesting release, certainly. For the sake of scale, since this is a weirder, smaller figure, I'm going to go ahead and get the appropriate figure to stand next to him, my Egghead Luffy. So as you can see, he is very small and short, but that is fitting for Chopper. He might even be a bit oversized, but whatever. I like this figure. It's not amazing or anything, and I wouldn't say it's hyper necessary, especially with that pre-time skip Chopper they're releasing, but I don't mind it in the slightest. I'm glad to have it to go with my Egghead Luffy. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this little video. If you did, don't forget to do all the usual YouTube stuff. Like, comment, subscribe, all of that jazz. And let me know what other One Piece figures I should get. There's some that I've skipped that you might not want me to have skipped, so let me know if there are any like that, and I'll try to do my best to get around working on that. And yeah, I think that's the video. A shorter one for an S.H.Figuarts, but that's always appreciated. I hope you enjoyed this video with this little doctor, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye-bye!